Transcoding. Yay! We have the transcoding. Good stuff. How are the video stats looking? Looking pretty nice. Yes, they are. Okay, good stuff. We're on a bit of a roll. Everything's seemingly working. Right, what am I doing? Oh, yes. We're going to log into the game. There's number one. What am I going to... Yeah, let's just go with the keeper. Why the hell not? Hey. For a bit of Hodor. Yes, indeed. Storm owns you. Yes, my channel of choice. What's this? Random phase font bike. Okay. Let's go to the live screen and... oh, also, social mediaing time. Yes, it is. Hopefully it has updated the stream title as well. Let's have a look. Yeah, kind of. It's long. It's a long, long title. Because of course it is. Copy that. Send that over. Okay. There we go. And we need to go off and do the same again on Bookface. Because reasons. There we go. Do the other Facebook places and such like. Ah, yes, there we go. Right, okay, we've done all that. It is, yes, it's Hodor night. Kind of deal. It's on. Londis with many tunes. I'll just run to Pandemonium from here. Oh yes, I'm still near dead from last night's fun and games with Space Quest, Alien Security Gates, and Seekers. Because of course I am. Savik, welcome to the stream. Nice to see you. How the devil are you? Done that one, done that one. Buffing. Are you coming to HodorRaid for Pandemonium, or? Thought I might as well. Seeing as Mrs. Callos 2 is off this week, I can start streaming at more conventional times, etc. In 40 minutes. Yeah, I'm a bit early. Yes. How is the stream for you? Is it clear? I've messed around with the bitrate settings and such. It should be okay though. Because it's got the transcoding, so people will get the bitrate they can handle. But I've moved it up to 8K instead of the other one. 6K or whatever, yeah. It should look less... Like, when I do that, there should be less sort of pixelation. So, yeah, it should work. It's streaming out at minimum 8 up to a maximum. But I put it at a variable, so if I'm stood around not doing much, it you know, should kind of normalise itself. So it's a little earlier than normal. Yes, it is. While I'm here, though, before I go LFT, I'm going to go and check on a Dyna. Because we've got the time. Yes, we do. Yeah, before I came on, I thought, I'm going to go check out, you know, like, big streamers, see what their, you know, how good is their stream game, and it is really good. They're very slick. Fizzgrim, welcome to the stream. Yeah, when people call me pro, it's like, no. Go watch a big streamer and just watch how slick it all is. I am nowhere near that. You got so much nice loot yesterday. Yeah, apparently there's a bag for me. I'm not sure. Hello, creepy. Prepare to die. Yeah, I got an offline message, so I don't know if the person is online, but I will check. Just thought I'd come and have a pop at good old creepy Spider, you know. Need to maybe remove that. Yes, I do. Last night's IGM was a blast. I think we kicked everybody's collective behinds. Yeah, well, I think it was just they got their act together quick. You know, the quickest. Like, whoever forms raid first, you know, will fill quickly. But yeah, they were very focused, very polished. And I noticed stuff like when people crashed or, you know, died or whatever, they were so fast at getting them back as well. You know, like they had engineers just constantly re-warping people back and forth when they needed to, and, you know, all the rest of it. It was very slick operation. I was quite impressed. Gotta say, you know, credit where it's due and everything. So yeah, we're a little ahead of time for HodorRaid. 4:30, so another sort of 12 minutes or so, then I'll head to Pande and join the raid proper, kind of thing. Yeah, I didn't stay on for the loot handling because I didn't really want the loot, so I was like, no, you guys, no, I'm just here to sort of, you know, promote that this is occurring rather than anything else, and just have the, you know, enjoy the fun of raiding together. You know, that kind of thing, more than, ooh, can I has loot, please? You got loot whether you want it or not, angry. Well, apparently, yeah. I'll see if the person that messaged me is online. I think they thought I was going to be hanging around. I was knackered at the end of that. I had a big load of food and then just, you know, chilled out for a bit. Right, they sent me an offline tell. Offline tell. Whoop! Watch where you're going, not what you're typing. Gonna have a look at one Dyna, one more, and then join up on HodorRaid. Yeah, after I'd had a bit of a snooze, I came back and because there was a load of people I've never seen before streaming. I didn't raid them because I didn't know what they were like, you know. So I went and like watched them one by one. And they were kind of, yeah, they were okay. They were nice enough, you know. Is there a schedule somewhere for HodorRaid? Yes. Tell HodorRaid news. Like literally just that. So if you go tell HodorRaid news, like that, it'll tell you when the raids are and at what time. All times are in UTC. Because UTC never changes. There's no seasonal adjustment. Did you join HodorRaid? I think the first thing you have to do is tell HodorRaid join, so it knows who you are, and it should give you the news if you do that, I think. Should do, yeah. if the bot has no idea who you are, yeah, it's gonna spit you out, isn't it? You know, it's kind of, you know, it's one of them. Elmminster, welcome to the stream, nice to see you. Yeah, I was just watching Carnage, or Carnage. He's really good. He did a character in Cyberpunk, kind of, and he's really good in that as well. But I thought, oh, he's on. I'll watch his stream. See how good. He's really good. Like everything's totally, like all automated and fast, and he's a bunch of mods and like busy doing stuff all the time. It's really. But when you've got 12, I think it was like 15,000 people watching. So yeah, kind of needs to be slick, doesn't it? With the Prophet, Gary the Prophet, I think he's called. The one that goes, no, they're the lizard people, they're vampires and blah blah. You know, that guy who you meet right near the beginning of the game. Yeah, that's him apparently. And when you see him in like real life on real life, you know, on Twitch, yeah, you can tell it's him. And the one that has the implant malfunction in his groinal area, he's that's Jesse Cox, but I knew that immediately because I watched Jesse Cox, you know. So I used to love when it used to be him, Badger, and rest in peace, Total Biscuit used to do a show thing, and they were so fun together. They really were, you know. They would rip things apart or praise them, or, you know, cut through a load of analysis with them, etc. The co-optional podcast, yeah. And I mean, I watched, started watching Total Biscuit, the Cynical Brit on YouTube years ago. Probably when he had, you know, like 100 subscribers or something, and he was making WoW videos. But I just, found someone British on YouTube, I'll watch them. You know, it was that kind of thing. And then he just got better and better and better, you know. Sadly, no longer with us. Rest in peace, sir. You are missed. You did make the world a better place. Yes, indeed, he did. Right, let's rewrite here. HodorRaid. There we go. I only wanted to check those two, and then we'll head to Pandemonium and chill. Loch Ness, welcome to the stream. How the devil are you? I've changed the permissions on chat slightly, so it's follower only chat. So if you're a sub or a follower, you're fine. There's no timeout either, but with people trying to be clever last night, I thought, right, I you know, I don't want to make it airtight and whatnot. I think people, you know, should be entitled to say what they think, etc. But when they're just goofing off doing the Bart Simpson prank phone call type thing in the middle of chat, it's like, nah, go away. Go away and stop being 10 years old, you know. So yeah, changed a couple of things anyway. Join the raid, I shall. I'm in Inf, but I can meet you. Yep, I can be anywhere. Open stream on my way. Gamel0007. Evening. Good evening, Gamel on the laptop. Eating his dinner. See, we know everything here. Yes, we've hacked the webcam on your laptop. And we can see you there eating food. Yes. totally not making this up as I go along. Right, let's have a look, see. I hope it's not in the loo. No, I think you're okay. Yeah, so here we are. I has found a Savick. And there's XP later. Now 220. Dun dun dun. Yeah, so we've got iPande, real pand, bit of a gap in the middle, and then we've got Sector 42. Hello, puppy, why are you up here? Oh my god, you give me 2 backpacks here. What has your gizmy? Medical is your loot, the other is one for giving away. What are you giving me? Oh my god. So many things. Oh, there's some very nice bits and pieces there. I should give these away as well, you know. These are pretty nuts. And the other one for giving away. Oh my giddy aunt. There is some very, very nice bits and pieces here. Yes, there is. Thank you very, very much. No, they've already gone. I got 4 levels on my NT last night at the event. That's pretty cool going. ICC crashed there. No problem. Oops. Yes, that happens, unfortunately. Yes, it does. I need to make a bit of room here, I think. Let's put the stuff I got from doing Dynas. Let's put that in a bag. I think that was a daily reward. Okay, so that's a bit of space. That'll do for now. Yeah, the loot from last night. Space Quest asks me, you know, can you think of anything? I said, well, don't ask the chat because they'll just say, yeah, put burdens in the loot. But he's not allowed to do that. He's not allowed to put raid, no drop raid stuff. Is he's been told no, don't add that. But if it's obtainable by a team of 6 sort of thing, then and it's yes drop, then you can put it in. Or some similar guideline to that. Let's go and stand next to Savick and not be as tall. There we go. It's the keeper party. Yes. Oh no, it's not. I thought that was a thing then. No, it's your fixer. Horus? Oh God, I've forgotten. How do we say it? HodorRaid is and approved by you. Yes. You're letting him out of the box. I saw that. Because hang on, let's share this on the stream because this is just so good. I'm not sure who said. Is it in screenshots? No, it wasn't in screenshots. Off topic, maybe. Where the hell was it? All the images, maybe. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Open the original. There you go. Someone made this on Discord. Hang on, let me just get that up there for you. Yeah, there you go. It's a GIF, but I don't know if there is a tune to it, but yeah. Trust the Ark when he says this. Killing only towers and ignoring all ads. Yeah, tell Space Quest to get back in his box. Dare Rainies to spawn just a few aliens. Attack a tower before the sky has turned green. Exit the garden and go AFK. Trust the Ark when he says the Seekers are gone. Dumb ways to die. So is that the tune? Dumb ways to die. So many dumb ways to die. It's like fries are done. Meme or something like that. I don't know. It's very cool. I like that. Caesaren, welcome to the stream. Nice to see you. Yes, I've modified the chat settings ever so slightly. So you asked to be a follower to chat now, not a sub, just a follower. Because then I can keep track of people that try and type naughty things in the chat. So it just makes it very easy to block them entirely. You know, I wish I didn't have to, but there we are. Yeah, someone was trying to type phonetically lewd and sweary phrases in Romanian or whatever and get me to read them out. It's like, no, we're not doing that. We're not doing lots of swears. So yes, that is the gone now. Before I put my foot out, yes, the dog has left. So yeah, I was quite impressed that the IGN raid guys that were run that. They did a really good job, I thought. Very slick, very well organised. And I need to start a new tune this week, don't I? Yeah, Monday onwards or something. I'm not sure how to go about it exactly. Whether to, I don't know why, but Savick has got Moochum's Gift. All of them. Instead of just composite Moochums. Not sure what's going on there, Sav. Is that you buffing yourself, is it? Or some such thing? Yeah, with that there, that's enough to deck out a tune pretty nicely. Should I put in the two-hand blunt NCUs? You know, but also redistribution device and dynamic gas as well. Because of a Froob MP and no paid MP. 100% of NCUs to spare. Yes, this is true, yes. Are they all 4 hours now? The singles are, or whatever, yeah. That's pretty cool. Yes, it is. Yeah, we're in kind of early for this, but I thought, you know, instead of like dashing in at the very last minute, let's get here in plenty of time. Yeah, I don't know if it's really worth it. What's the MBS on this anyway? 2750, and I have 2764. There's no point wearing it. I'm already at max MBS. What's this? Sorry, no cat, but somebody got something to say. Okay, let's have a look. That's cute. That's really, really cute. Cute puppy is okay. And welcome to the stream, Siljo Russell. Londis, a shaved gremlin. Oh, you cute little puppy. What are you saying? No. A shaved gremlin. Don't they auto unshave them, like unhair themselves if you put them in water or something? Or is that when they turn into the scary ones or whatever? Or was that feed them after I can't. What were the rules? I remember there was 2 rules. Don't get them wet, and don't feed them after midnight. But I can't remember what caused what. Feed after midnight made them reptilian and nasty, didn't it? Water makes them reproduce. If such an animal existed, it would have had to have developed in, I don't know, a desert or something. Otherwise, they'd have just populated the entire planet, wouldn't they? They'd have out reproduced everything else and just there'd be no food left for anybody else or any other species. I mean, you saw, what is the scene? Is it in the first one or the second one? One of them jumps in a swimming pool or something, and then suddenly there's like an entire army of them. Kind of a weird concept for the movie, but we all watched it and went, oh, look how cute they are. And then, oh my God, they're horrific. They were, I mean, we knew they were, you know, puppets or whatever and all that, and it didn't matter. It still worked. So yes, we're doing the stood around looking at Savik's guild name, not quite fitting inside the bars. Yes, it's the Londis. Londis. Okay, I gotta rewatch the Gremlins movies now, remember. Yeah. Well, you gotta remember, did you watch it when you were a kid? That's the thing. If you were quite young, what you remember might not be as good as you kind of think it was, but, you know what I mean? when you go back, you rewatch and go, I remember it being better than this. Yeah, I think, when did Gremlins come out? How we got onto this subject, I don't know, but it's Gremlins. Yeah, it was quite early, wasn't it? Gremlins, let's have a look. 1984, so I was 15. There you go. I was 15-year-old when I saw that movie. So I kind of identified with the 2 protagonists in it because they were like not much older than me, kind of thing. Well, they were playing roles, you know, they were in school and whatnot. The gods must be crazy. Is that the one where someone throws an empty Coke bottle out of a plane over like the Amazon jungle or something? Yeah, I remember that, and I remember really laughing quite hard at it. But yeah, I don't know if I would find it funny anymore. It was quite slapstick and stuff, wasn't it? But then, you know, when I was younger, I used to really like Laurel and Hardy and Harold Lloyd. Do you remember him? I don't think he was alive when I started watching him. Harold Lloyd, let's have a look. Harold Lloyd. Yeah, that's him. Hang on. So I started watching him. He was all... Oh, no, that was... Died in 1971. So I was only 2 years old when the man had already, passed away. But yeah, probably most famous for that image there. The, oh my God, he's gonna die thing hanging off that clock tower. And the way they did it is this building or something is up on top of a hill. So the height you see is actually real. But the height underneath him, while quite quite possibly deadly, is nothing like as bad or something like that. I remember watching some documentary about it. Oh, he's like silent movie star. I remember finding them absolutely hilarious as a kid. In the Blue Ridge Mountains of Virginia. I remember just rolling around on the floor laughing as a little kid, thinking that was the funniest thing I'd ever seen. It probably was. Yeah, the episodes are like 95 years old now. I know, that is just berserk, isn't it? They made a movie about who the people playing Laurel and Hardy were, but like the real life story of them. But the two people they cast were just perfect. One was Steve Coogan as Laurel, and the other guy is in like loads of stuff. He was in Step Brothers, Guardians of the Galaxy, and I cannot think of his name, but he's a great actor. Nearly as old as me, yeah, I know. Let's face it, he is older. Oh yeah. As old, yeah. I know. But I received all of the Ernest movies right before Christmas, near to wire up my old VHS up to a movie ripper so I can... Yeah, you just need some sort of capture card these days, don't you? Or mind you, a lot of modern capture cards only have like HDMI and stuff like that. So, yeah. I think when they first came out, though, didn't they have... God, I can remember having buying a DVD player CD writer unit. I think the brand was Light On or someone like that. And then a PCI card that connected to it, and it did the like hardware transcoding of the DVD, and then you could output it to like a regular CRT television and watch any region and whatnot, Got HDMI and SCART. Oh, if you got SCART, you're fine. Yeah, as long as your VHS isn't a Bang & Olufsen, then it will conform to the normal SCART wiring. Yeah, Bang & Olufsen looked at the 21 pins of a SCART connector and went, "Oh, we could use these for making different, different devices communicate with each other and stuff, and power and whereas everybody else used the kind of standardized version of it." So if you used a regular SCART cable expecting it to work with your Bang & Olufsen stuff, it would break whatever you plugged it into, and probably the Bang & Olufsen as well. Why they did that, I don't know. I don't know if they changed it later, but we had to be very careful around that stuff in the workshop. That I do remember. You're going to hook that up? Yeah. What make is it? Bang & Olufsen. Don't switch it on. Why? Well, we'll tell you why. And all that kind of stuff. Team 2 is Tank Team. Okay. I is in Tank Team 2. Bang & Olufsen changed their pinout. Yeah, that's right, yeah. They did. They were a pain in the bum to service. Last generations won't work with the new. Yeah, well done. I mean, the quality of the, devices they made was absolutely, top notch. Very hard to do better, but it was incompatible with anything else. I think the idea was, you would only use their equipment kind of thing, and They were the Apple at the time. Yeah, sort of, yeah. Well, Apple copied that idea, didn't they? Yeah. Yeah, I'm not a fan of companies like that, to be honest. The whole, like, you know, you can only get certain things fixed, and we won't fix everything, and yeah. I mean, Apple, people rave about how good their stuff is, and it's the same made in China stuff that everybody else has got, only not cross-platform. You know, but they sell it as like a cult thing, you know, like it's a lifestyle, it's this, it's that, it's just technology. It's just useful technology that you can't use with anything else, that kind of forces you into their little world of stuff that is ridiculously overpriced. They run on the adage that price sets expectations, so they overprice everything they sell, so you think you're buying something better. In actual fact, you're not. Yeah, I'm not saying Bang & Olufsen stuff wasn't good, because it was. You know, all the componentry in it was very high quality. The tolerances on the caps and resistors were all, you know, minus, plus a 1% rather than 20 or 30% on the cheaper components. So yeah, the reason they cost more is they were built better. You know, simple as. But Apple, no, it all comes out of the same factory, and it's all made to the same tolerances and stuff. There's a very funny internet historian video about, I think it's called the iPhone massacre, and it's all the times, like, you know, like people like on 4chan and places like that decided to troll people with that kind of equipment. Like, oh, this new software update for the phone makes it able to recharge in a microwave and stuff like that, and they created really slick and pro-looking adverts to sell that idea, and people did it. They put their bloody phones in a microwave. 2 minutes in the microwave will fully charge your iPhone. It'll destroy the iPhone and probably damage the microwave, you know. But common sense doesn't exist in the cult of Apple, you know. And people actually did it. And the other one was make it waterproof. And then what was the one they built it out of? An aluminium kind of chassis or whatever, and it would bend in people's pockets. So they started putting out ads saying, "Oh no, this isn't a fault. This is a feature." You know. Yeah, 4chan did the same thing. Make your iPhone waterproof. With software. Yeah, the guy called Internet Historian, one of the best channels going. There you go. Google's heard of him. This guy, he's so good. His content is so good. Which video is it? I'm not even sure it's on this. He's got like, yeah, there you go. The Great iPhone Massacre. And he's very sort of like reports on it in a very sort of dispassionate way and whatnot. And it's just so good. All his videos are just really good. Oh, you couldn't even see that. I didn't have the thing up. Hang on, I'll do that again. Yeah, this guy on YouTube, he is brilliant. He really is. The iPhone one is down there. The Great iPhone Massacre, you know, stuff like the failure of Rainforest, stuff like that. But you can tell he's great. I mean, look at it. That Concordia ship, 12 million views on there. Stuff about the virus. The fall of 76, 29 million views. You know, the guy's good. The guy, and the content's really funny. No two ways about it. You know, he's one of my... I would recommend him to anyone. The guy's brilliant. I'm not going to try and play his stuff on the stream. Go watch him for yourselves. He's, you know, He's really funny. And he's got this great, I think it's New Zealand type accent, but it's the kind of newsreader type tone of voice that he has. It's really good. So he just correlates and can, gets all the data together and then creates like an essay piece on it without really drawing any conclusions. Yeah, the cruise ship one he did is funny, yeah, because he does like little kind of little animations and stuff, which are the kind of stuff you see in shitpost, basically. But they're not. They're done in that style, but they're not. They're much more slick. The timing, the comedic timing of them and everything else is just really, really spot on. I mean, he, maybe when he started, was just sat there doing it until he thought it was funny and then release it. Yeah, now it makes me laugh. We'll keep it like that. It doesn't really matter, but what you end up with is, if you look at it at any, and analyze it at any level, and yeah, it's good stuff. Axpulator. Expulator, yeah, there we go. We're getting callers there. Oh, wait until they've done it, yep. Expulator. They're in the group though, aren't they? Yeah, if you like to laugh, then yeah, definitely watch that guy's stuff. It's absolutely first rate. And he doesn't do the whole, hey guys, thanks for watching the video, and you get like 4 minutes of please click like and subscribe every video. He doesn't do any of that crap. And then he does ad time, and he does like a sponsored ad, but the sponsored ad, you're like, how did they okay this? Because he just rips the product to bits. Like, how are they okay with this? Oh God, yeah. I mean, even his advertisements he does are just so on the edge of what they. And he even said, yeah, it's really weird. He said, I put the advert together thinking they're never going to go for this, and then they get to see the advert, and they go, yeah, that's great, yeah. Go with that, and give him the sponsorship. It's just amazing that he gets a. I think they think it doesn't matter because you will laugh watching it and remember the product name, and that's all we really care about. That you have a positive emotional response to the product name because you remember this advert making you laugh. It doesn't matter if you're, really ripping into the product in some way or being ridiculous about it, as long as these two things are these. Two criteria are met, it's good, As Sabic 2 only going on stuff I post. I need to check response for this. Let's have a look. That seems harmless enough. Yep, there we go. Nom 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 nom. Yeah, he's got a second channel. His Internet Historian Incognito mode, and it's more sort of back and forth chat with somebody. And then I think his editor kind of adds in the humorous sort of animations and stuff of the things that they're describing or whatever. And I quite enjoy watching those as well. But the main channel stuff, yeah, he's very considered in what he does as well. He's sort of like, it's the body of work. You know, you come to this channel, you will probably end up watching all of it because it's all of a similar quality kind of thing. Okay, we've got about 5 minutes before we head on in to Pandemonium. Does we has callers now? Let's have a look. Yeah, we has callers. Let's make the macro. Does iMutant or Blazer exist? Well, if you've dropped it into chat, I'm gonna say yeah. That's weird. Okay. Oh, did I not understand the question? Oh, do high quality, right, I'm with it. Yeah, not very high. I think you're right. I'm not seeing anybody using that high level anyway. Step and wait on the wall. The wall of doom. Yes, the wall of... Why is my camera backwards? That was really freaky then. Can we see the stream or is it a little dark? Do light. And let's try Rubicar lighting. No? Global light. Pandemonium light. Basic light. Rubicar. It doesn't really seem to make a lot of difference today. Yay, Geronimo, let's kill mobs. Trollolol. Kill all the pinks. iMutant or Blazer. I think I remember people using those back in the day. Yeah, blasting through the mobs, they shall not stand above us. Special Doja chips for everyone. Yeah, I did a follow-up one to the cruise ship. Now I read Londus's comment there. On the second channel. It's like an hour long. And they go over some of the bits and pieces they had to, you know, piece together and whatnot. So, yeah. It's pretty weird situation for all of that to have happened. Let us move on. What did it drop anyway? Anything good? Rip range meter. Quick draw holster of Ares. Handy little doofer, should you need it. An extra 10 to fling shot and 20 to pistol. Goes in a utility slot if you're just short. Ooh. Yawning away. Showing my age. Yes, indeed. Spirit Tech Network Analyzer. They're quite handy, actually. Sense and Complit. If you're doing trucks, alphas and such. So, was it that one, or there was another one? I think it was Sense and Treatment or something like that. Right side, use the walls. I always seem to be able to get up on the wall dead easy on kind of the west side of the wall, but the east side I always seem to bloody well fall off. I don't know what that is. Flaming Nora, level 10 research lines take an age. Should have come to the event, my friend. They go a lot faster. Once you get to Shadowlands, my god, they fly by. We are killing the scaries. Wherever they may be. Bring them down and we kill them. Yeah. When you got a raid force this big, I mean, I think you could almost ignore the ads except for the, yeah, probably just the pinks, maybe. Why have I got him on ignore? That's weird. Don't remember the name. Maybe I misclicked him in chat or something like that. How do you unignore? I can't remember now. Is it just literally Oh God, type. Does it just ignore again? Okay. Unignoring. There we go, that's better. I've got no idea. You know, sometimes you get spammers in chat. I might have clicked on it, you know, when it's going and you click the wrong name. I think maybe I did that. Because I very much doubt he's selling creds in ICC on a level 1 something or other, you know what I mean? Sorry, my dude. I think I accidentally ignored you at some point. But yeah, when you get OCC and you get a ton of spam and you just like click ignore, click ignore, click ignore. It might have been accidental casualty there. Meditative gloves of the Aquarius. They are very, very useful item. Intelligence and psychic for 25 is the useful thing. In fact, I think, was it Volpu and a bunch of other people said, right, we're going to go do iPande just so you can finish off doing alphas on Fatty. Because that's all we needed, was those gloves. And we could have done the eye if, I think it was, yeah, all I needed was the gauntlet buff and it would have worked, or something like that. It was so close. But I decided to go for an EOE anyway. Yeah, I always fluff up on that gateway, and yet I can do it on all the others. I don't know what it is. Something weird. No research in a raid, but you might get a doja. You get research from Space Quest's Pulse, though, even if you're in a raid group. Oh, Londis, yeah. Yeah, in a conventional raid, mob XP, no. But that XP pulse is like handing in a mission. It kind of bypasses it in that respect. Libra. It's been a while since I soloed this one on the Keeper. I think I soloed it on the Keeper to help out the dock or something like that. To get that quest done. God, it was hard work getting rid of the ads. But if you run off the edge at Libra, you go back to where... you don't go to Omni HQ. I think you go back to your last save or something like that. Or just outside. I can't remember now. Yeah, a load of people I said, yeah, Libra, make sure to get the activation code if you haven't done the star quest yet. They were like, oh yeah. Suddenly everyone looted them. I think maybe they probably would have done anyway. Don't know. Got to be 220 to use the pan doges. You do, yep. Don't want to level it up until all... Oh, you're doing your research pre-201, are you? Yeah, you can do that, yeah. Yeah, some people say that's faster. I don't know. I find, me personally, if I get to higher level quicker, I get into more teams quicker. So... I don't know. I mean, I think it probably is, otherwise people wouldn't bother, but you need, if you've got a bunch of mates that are all like, yeah, come on, you can just tag along with us kind of thing, then yeah, it will. If you can get into, Inferno hards each and every time, it will be faster, but you've got more chance of getting into hards if you're 210 plus in, like, pickup teams, you know. I am going to have to trim some of this beard, I'm thinking. It's getting in my tea and food. Oh, right, you're just using the other two to run it through new imp mediums. Oh, God. Slightly tedious. Doing it solo as well. Mind you, put some tunes on, or a movie, or Netflix on the other monitor, and, yeah. Just chill your way through. Films and music. Yeah, I've done that. I has done that before. You know, grind through a mission and on second monitor I'm, just watching Star Trek The Next Generation. Or something like that, you know. It's very red here. Lots and lots of little ads. Except they're not little. They're all big high-level crap. But we can handle them, yes, we can. Up we go. Up, Skylark, up. I was very good, actually. Pulled everything down without snagging the main NPC. That's pretty good, gotta say. You gotta know your biscuits if you're doing that. I love the music in this game. It's so atmospheric. It won awards as well. Best ambient sound effects, best music. No one was really doing that anymore. Certainly not in any kind of MMO. I think maybe they did it a little bit in a few standalone games. Like Half-Life did it. But only if you left the CD in your PC, because it played the tracks off the CD. It actually had audio tracks on it and it played them. Feet. Raid leader says feet. Oh. We rubber band all the way back to the beginning of the bridge. That was clever. I was right underneath the bugger as well. Yo still has the best music of any belt music in any. Yeah, I know. Would be nice if the double reward bits still worked. Yeah, I know what you mean, yeah. Music sets the tone, you know, it really does. Tells you where you are. And the dynamically shifting music in, especially more noticeable when you're fighting solo. So the game engine can keep up with which bit of the music to trigger. Yeah, the aggro music. You know how well you're doing by the music almost. You know, when you hear that "you're going to die" music, you look back at your monitor screen to see what the hell's gone on. And they're all like listed in the music folder of the game, like winning greatly, losing greatly, you know, medium, all that kind of thing. Was there a belt, or they just... Double speed, yellow belt, sense and agility. Persisting chest. Some nice symbionts on that, to be fair. Ooh, someone wants that. Jandoi Kari has won the belt. I think I butchered their name again. Hello, super content, mate. Hang on, I'll try and respond. Thank you for watching. And now I must attend what I'm doing. Spamming lots of keyboard keys and focusing on assisting. Yeah, all the music really. I mean, you get to Ergo, you know, when you enter the sort of piece of the playfield that Ergo is actually in. When you get to that bit, you know, you get that little cling and you know where you are, and as you go through different places, the music changes with the scenery and, you know, flora and fauna of the area. It's very dynamic. And if you listen carefully, you can, as you run over different surfaces, your footsteps sound changes as well. So like, cake is good, says Manic Fixer. Yes. Random tells. Yes. Yeah, there's just loads of very well done stuff in Anarchy that, you know, like if you go to retreat and you run across the regular ground, you can hear like somebody running on crunchy sand kind of sound, and as soon as you reach one of the metal walkways, you can hear it change to your feet tapping away on that. Nobody was really doing that at the time that, you know, Anarchy Online launched, and there it was with all that built in, you know. Elminster games were not mass-produced at that time, so more care was put into them. I agree, actually. I think there's a lot of truth to that. Deadline, yeah. It's become... I mean, the whole thing is commercial, but there's a point where the commerciality of the business overtakes the artistry of the business, and the product suffers. So... Anarchy Online is one of those gems where that ain't the case. I mean, they're talking about, 500 hours in this new game that's come out if you do everything in the game. And I'm thinking, hello, Skyrim? People have got thousands of hours in that game with mods and stuff. And then Anarchy Online, my god. We don't count hours, we count days. Just on this tune alone, and this is a new tune, 25 days, 5 hours, so 25 times 24 is what? Yeah, around about 500. Someone break out a calculator and figure it out. But yeah, it is. It's and then like if I log into Kalos 2 and do played, it's like over 300 plus days. It's like a year. So, you know, when they go, 500 hours in this game, well, it depends how you play, doesn't it? I mean, you can probably get through that whole game in like, yeah, well, this is it, Sav. You know, characters that when we used to main a character, so you played that character all, you know, for hours every day. And now it's so much faster to level that you can get that character up and running and sorted in far less time, but all is good, you know? I mean, I've done more... Yeah, you raided more and leveling took a lot longer. This is it, yeah. We're getting pink, so oh, they are getting cold. Okay. But ranged are doing the do on them. Oop, I think the beast got a bit of a heal there. Might have missed a pink or been a bit slow on one of the pinks, perhaps. No, you're going down now, beastie boy. Yes, you is. No, I don't need any loot, so... whizzing away. Yeah, if I look Kalos 2 afterwards, I'll show you. It's over a year of played time on that one character, and I've got, what, 20 plus characters? So, wow. And that doesn't take into account characters I've made and then deleted. Because, yes, I has done that. Like, I made one NT, got him all the way to 215, and then deleted him. After I made another NT, and got them to that sort of level and went, I like this one a lot more, you know. I don't need 2 NTs, and that was it. And deleted your original character at 203. Good God. Almost sounds like criminal, doesn't it? But yeah, I didn't want to do without some of my others, so yes, we're whizzing back. Get ahead of the curve. Yeah, it was just before they changed Garrux. Before Garrux became Garrux, there was a different nano. And I was so looking forward to getting it and using it. And then they turned it into something completely rubbish the first time out. And I was like, oh, screw this. You know, and just stopped playing him. Then did a Let's Build a Tune, which went rather well. By which time they'd fixed Garrux and made it into a decent, you know, nano for NTs. And Let's Build another tune. Me thinking, oh, this 2 series is enough for anybody to watch. Naively. And yeah. Made a new NT. And by the time that NT was like 200, I think I knew damn well I was like, I much prefer this one to my old one. Don't know why. Just something about them was more fun. And yet they kind of, a lot of their gear was like hand me down from the old two. And now he's going to make a nano mage shade with assault rifle. Yeah, I don't know how to make that work. I think maybe what we do is we take, you know, instead of doing, you know, vote on breed, vote on gender, vote on head, vote on face, we just try and do it on a stream, right? And then we just play that character for a week or so and see how we get on with it. See how far we can push it, kind of thing, in between doing, you know, this kind of thing. I don't know yet. I'm trying to think what, you know, what's going to be fun. Not just for me, obviously. What's going to be fun for you guys to sort of sit through and watch me suffer, you know, which is what you all like. Shade, a proper shade is brilliant, Sav. It really is a lot of fun. But it's a lot more busy than you might be used to. That's the only thing. Hotkeys are your friends, obviously, but they're a lot of busy work playing a shade. Make a dock again. Yeah, it might be. I wouldn't mind trying an MA dock, but I mean, the easy way to do that for me is just make my existing dock into an MA dock. Or do something really crazy, like one-hand blunt dock in itself. Yeah, it could be good. Could be a lot of fun. I was thinking of making a drink, but I think I'll wait until we're doing the hour in between Pandemonium and doing Sector 42, I think. Might be the way to go. Yeah, I enjoyed my fixer quite a lot, especially when I started going, oh, I want to farm things. Having a 220 fixer to do it with is joyous, unless what you're trying to roll is too low level to roll on that character. Yeah, I've come to really like Keeper so much more than I originally did the first couple of times I made one. It's just there's so much utility with them and everything. It's, you know. I'd play my Keeper more, but she's hindered a lot by being Omni. Could have maybe stayed neutral on that one, I don't know. You can't, if you go one side, you can't change back to neutral, can you? Or can you? I don't think it's possible. You can change from... Yeah, she was Omni right from the start, yeah. PvP runner, love my crap. Yeah, like mine as well. Fatty balls, Atrox crap with alphas. Just because. Should maybe upgrade his pistols to envoys or something like that. But he's still pretty awesome to play, yeah. I don't play him very often, but he is good. Usually I just use him for certain raids and stuff, you know. And to buff other tunes I'm working on at the time and, you know, that kind of thing. Because that, generally speaking, that is a lot of fun to do. You got your own little buff army on your account. And then you're like, right, I'm going to take this little tune into the subway, you know, with hack and quack and and just like power trip your way through, you know. Ooh, nanocrystal omnipole pacification logic system. That's a nice one. Add all def 446. All off 446. All def 86 to your pet. That's pretty nice. Boosts up the pet quite a bit. What did everyone think of the new AI event? Like in terms of the locations and everything else, and having one extra location. The last bit of cold tea. Yum. wonder how much of the playfield will be up in real Pande. You never know till you get there, that's the thing. Someone likes their skateboard. Hoverboard, rather. It is a hoverboard. A hoverboard. Yeah, Kratz can do a lot of soloing and Dyna farming and stuff like that. And they're quite chill to play as well. If you keep everything under control, it's quite satisfying to play one. I'm just waiting on everyone else to come along and catch up. Kill zone and wait on wall. Yay, let's go. Ran behind it like I was on a shade or something. Energy Vortex for the win. I don't know why I'm trading with someone. Perennium bolts. Aye. Donuts has decided crawling around is the way to go while we're here. And, you know, why not? Yeah, those headphones I spotted over Christmas for 94 quid have gone all the way up to 130 now. I'm like, oh god. I'm just going to wait until they come down in price again, I think. And then I can have comfort and not even feel like I'm wearing headphones, which will make streaming a lot better, I think. You watched that part, got myself Sony ones, yeah. I think Sennheiser I'm going to stick with. If they're good enough for Markiplier, they're good enough for me. My thinking. No, I mean, if you buy a decent pair of non-gamified headphones, they're generally good. But I also need them for critical, sort of, you know, to make editing and EQing decisions on things when I make videos and stuff, so... You know, gamified ones are just not on the cards, really. and things like Dr. Dre's and all that, they're very coloured and not true. So you could mix something and think it sounds great on those, but then somebody listening on a little pair of speakers that thinks it sounds terrible, or they watch on their TV and it's horrible, or they've got earbuds and it just sounds wrong. You know, so you need something as neutral as possible to best guess how it's going to sound for everybody else. We are killing the Virgo. I might get them anyway, even at the higher price, but I'll just be gutted if I buy them and then the next month they come down in price again. You know what I mean? The RRP is like nearly 200 quid, so yeah, what's that, like $300 or something? $5 bazillion knock, whatever it's called, like krona. Yeah, Sony makes some really great stuff. No two ways about it. Why I like Sennheiser is whenever you watch a movie, 99% of the people speaking on the video have been recorded with a Sennheiser hypercardioid microphone. Sennheiser MK114 something. And you can buy that microphone, but it's like £1,000. Bit of overkill for somebody like me, you know. So yeah, whenever you see people in helicopters, you know those green headphones they're wearing that are completely sound isolating without power or electronics, but you can hear each other talking. They're Sennheisers, same as airline pilots were. So they've just got a lot of, you know, a wealth of history and experience when it comes to designing things like that. Enzleric, welcome to the stream. Nice to see you. How the devil are you? Happy New Year if I haven't seen you before, but I got a feeling I have. Although somebody else came on early on the chat, and I was like, no, I didn't see you earlier on. You know, it was one of those kind of things. Now, I just stick to Enzleric because I can at least pronounce it. Fixer you... No, I can't do it. I am a failed. I failed at it. I am bad. At home with my little boy sick. Hopefully not COVID. Oh God, I hope not. Quite possibly just regular illness, you know. Enzleric, though, not Enzleric. It's bloody Enzleric because I says it is. That's it, I've decided. I will mispronounce your name for all eternity now. Yeah, children seem to be quite... I mean, in the general population, so far what we know is children are pretty much immune, aren't they? Or very unlikely to suffer anything serious. So yeah, there's a lot of the anti-vaccination mob on Twitter. My God, they believe anything they're told. They really do. One person randomly posts, oh, this, you know, situation, with no evidence, no names, no facts, no figures, nothing at all. Oh, so-and-so had a jab, and then a week later they had to be hospitalised with blah, 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 blah. It's the vaccine. And it's like, where's your evidence? I mean, it does sound like you've just completely made it up, and then 50 other people all go, oh, follow the shoe, no, follow the God, the shoe is a sign, and oh my God, they're the worst. Thing is, with the way social media algorithms work, if you click on one of those things, it will just feed you a million more, and your impression therein, being unaware that what you're seeing is all related to the way algorithms work, is you think that this is what's happening because this is all you're seeing. So you start thinking it must be true because there's so much of it. There's only so much of it because you clicked on it once, and now it's just feeding you more and more and more to keep you on that platform. You know, and if you're not aware of that, you know, it's so dangerous. Donuts just decided I'm going to crawl everywhere. Yeah, I think I started off calling you Enes Lyric and then tried to make it sound like a word I could say repeatedly, so it just became Ens Lyric. Because I am useless. Anything outside of, like, maybe German and English. I can't do it. Mind you, I do hear every tourist ever coming into Wales and completely not being able to handle the road signs and place names or anything. It's like, what? And I understand why, you know, it's the way the letters look. If you don't know that two letters put together, because there's no English equivalency in the normal English alphabet, then yeah, you're going to get very confused by it all. Fail. I don't know why I bother with that bit of the wall, to be honest. I can't get over that stupid thing every time. And yet, once I'm running with it to my right-hand side, so to speak, I can do it every single time. It's weird. Enis Larry. My very first org in AO was Empire de Scorpion Noir. Oh, right, okay. Elric. Hi, Eric. Yeah, completely butcher someone's name in horrible ways. I mean, there's still people that think they go Kalos? And where'd you get Kalos from? There's no K. Lyric. Inspired from it, yeah. Wasn't there a movie called Eric the Viking? Or something once? It was quite weird. But Eric is a Viking name, so, you know, kind of makes sense. Can't remember the guy that was in it, but he was in Shawshank Redemption and all those. You know, the big white dude. Can't remember, is it Terry Jones? Oh, if any of the Pythons are involved, yeah, it will be weird. And the guy that's usually in Blackadder, Tim Robbins, that's his name. Thank you. Yeah, because he's a brilliant actor. I even liked that science fiction one they did. Was it Mission to Mars or something like that? And I don't want to give any spoilers, but he's in it, but he's not in it much. But I really did enjoy that movie. Weird as it was. Yeah, as soon as the any of the Pythons are involved with making a movie, it can get very strange very quickly. Look at Time Bandits, for God's sake. Enzleric redeemed Hydrate. I will after this raid, I think. Plus John Cleese, yeah. He always makes things funny. And Eartha Kitt, always funny if you're a Cockney, yeah. Half the chat won't get that. Google rhyming slang Eartha Kitt. Take your worst, best guess, and you're probably right. You're going for an Earther. All right, mate. Don't make it weird and say, I'll carry on watching on the phone. It's like, no, I don't need to know that you've taken me there with you. Don't make it weird, dude. Gamble Tom T. Yeah. Why am I not? Oh, there we go. I wasn't animating for some reason. Who knows? It is the very strange. Too late for that, yeah. Chat went down the pan, yes, very quickly as well. As it quite often does. Oh god, with the lag. No! I just did what the mobs do here. I'll be quiet for now. It's fine. That level is perfectly okay. Yeah, I lagged like hell. Yeah, I lagged as well. Just nappy chat. Oh dear. Someone is successfully pulling the mobs from on the bridge. Yeah, that hit me. I went from virtually to the corner all the way back to the start of the bridge. Luckily, I lagged in a straight line and didn't disappear off the edge, so, you know, somewhere. I tend to, if I do lag, I tend to just rubber band rather than go off in random directions, although that does happen. Too much, sorry. It's not too bad. You keep it at a sensible level. Terry Wogan level, yeah. I used to quite like listening to him. Like when he did the Eurovision, I'd actually watch the Eurovision just so he would watch him take the mick out of everybody on it. including the British entry, probably the most. Got the feeling it turned on me then. Probably didn't. Probably someone else stood near me. We get to the foot of the stairs. Because reasons, yes. Yeah, going around corners there and things like that is where you'll end up suddenly disappearing off the edge of things. I tell you what I used to like on the radio a lot was Jimmy Young. They've never really replaced that guy in terms of, you know, how good he was at what he did. It didn't matter who he interviewed, he'd rip them to pieces. And he'd be very polite about it as well. But he really could just cut them up. They just, so many people came on, you know, politicians, prime ministers of various eras and that, and they couldn't get near him. He would just run rings around them. Glad you didn't say the other one. No. I always found him creepy and quite odd. You know? even when I was young, I was like, something not quite right about this. This white-haired weirdo in a tracksuit. Something not quite right there. I didn't know what it turns out he was, but yeah. A witch. Yeah, well, good instincts to have, I suppose. See, I wouldn't have known what that was at the time when I was a kid, but yeah. Yeah, something always seemed a bit off about him to me. Him and the Rolf as well. That advert for learning to swim, I always thought, what a weird story. That's not right. You know what I mean? Just, there we go. Eventually found. Eventually clicked on the portal. Nah. It is nearly time. And go off and make another cuppa. Feet. Everybody, run to the feet. The feet of doom. Yeah, it's funny what you learn as you get older, isn't it? I mean, I always thought the Magic Roundabout was like a fun little show, you know. Kind of fairy tale-esque, almost. And then, like, you watch it as an adult and someone says, do you not notice, like, all these other references in it? And you think, well, how did they get away with that? And then it turns out, actually, it wasn't made by the BBC. It was made in France, in French. So they just didn't know what the hell the stories were for a particular episode. So the narration was just made up based on what they were looking at. So whoever was writing it was having a real laugh, weren't they? Dang 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 dang. And the goodies featured the dog off it, didn't they? Dougal. Captain Pugwash, yeah. There's a lot of, there's like jokes going around on the internet saying that it had all this in it and these references in it, and it actually didn't. But it's still really funny. Chorlton and the Wheelies, that was a bit, just slightly after my time. I was aware of it, but I wasn't watching it by then. I was probably watching Bionic Man on the other side or something like that, you know? And when I was a kid, I used to love Blue Peter. I used to think that was a really good TV show. It was like very proper and all these things you could, you know, here's something, here's one I prepared earlier, and you can use some sticky back plastic you know, because they couldn't say the brand name, which was, you know, sellotape, and they didn't want to say sticky tape because someone else branded theirs that. So, yeah, they meant sellotape. They just didn't say sellotape, you know. Potty time, yeah. There was nothing. There was never anything there, or something like that. And then the other kid shows I know references to where when the kids were watching them, you know, things like that. There was one the kids used to watch, Trapdoor or something it was called. I don't know what the hell it was about. I really don't. But he used to shout out, "Buck!" It's just the weirdest thing ever. Shakiri, I just started the clan Penumbra Sanctuary Key quest if someone's interested. I'm famously not interested in that quest. I'm not collecting all those bloody fragments. No. But yeah, if anyone wants to go and get the Penumbra key, good time. Oh, the Sanctuary key. I think I did the Sanctuary on 2 of my tombs and called it a day. The first time I did it was because that's where you went to farm faction in the temple there, so it was just convenient to have it. I think I've got a full set of patterns as well. There's someone in Storm gave me them, I think. I think it was, anyway. But you need, like, a particular team for that. You want an Enforcer and a Doc. And then anybody that wants the key, basically. I mean, then you just spawn one after the next. It's, you know, it's as simple as that. Still need the keys on your fixer. We can maybe get it done then in the week or something. I'm not that bothered. I've got it on. I've got Inferno, Garden and Sanctuary on Kalos too. But we were like a little raid group before raids. Like 2 teams going around farming all the bits for the patterns. It just took forever. We farmed them all and, you know, and then on the day we did it, it was like, oh my god, I've got the key, you know. I aim to have all keys on all alts, it's just so convenient. Nope. I say no. It's a no from me. I'm not doing every key quest. I might do, actually. I might do like a video series on just key quests. Like one after the other. Like video guide for this key quest. I was trying to do the Sheol one. I think it was... Will be hard the next 2 weeks with all that. Maybe Thursday. Yeah, there's no way I would pop all the patterns for that without like a full team of people to get it done. It'd just be wasteful, really. Next Friday I'll be starting another 24/7 week. My god. Those just sound crazy. But, you know. Geronimo. There we go. How does 24/7 weeks actually work then? Because you can't be working 24/7 for 7 days, can you? It'd be dangerous. Is it like you're on call for 24 hours for a week or something like that. I'm going to go get myself a nice cup of tea. Oh, before I do, you feel the core of your being shift as the source makes room for a divine presence. Ego Keeper has reached enlightenment. Congrats. And I has returned. Pande-Sector is best way to get from Southern Inferno for Doja farming. Yeah, I suppose so. Fragments, I'm too lazy. Solved the lag issues, reinstalled AO on the old engine and no lag. Alright. I mean, I've got 2 different installations. That's the way I do it. So like, so my desktop, oh God, it's got a lot of crap on it, but yeah, so on my C drive, that's my main Anarchy Online. That's the new engine, and then on the other SSD, I'll rename that Anarchy Online Part 2. That's the old engine that we're currently in. Where did I put Test Live then? Because Test Live is the same as new engine. I can't remember where I installed it to. I mean, you don't even have to install it, you just copy and paste it. I might have done it to there. Test Live. Somebody's open file location. Yeah, test server. So it's there. Yeah, test server, old engine, and then main install is on the C drive. Gamel, see you all later. Wife is taking me down the pub. Nice. Have a pint for me. Yeah, absolutely. We've got like a gift voucher for any of the JW Lee's places that we can go to as well. So we're saying, oh, that's a family meal's worth that, and a few beers. But apparently it's just for food. Chuck a pint down your Gregory at the battle cruiser for me. Yep. For those that want the translation, Gregory Peck, neck, battle cruiser, boozer, a pub. It occurs to me that as well as just standing here, we could go off and do some Dynas. Now, wet me whistle. Yes, indeed. I'm going to stay in the raid group for now. Are you doing Sector 42 as well, Savor? Ooh, 6,000 points. We're getting a bit closer. Actually, I can just meep and go there that way. I think I'll skip unless they turn out to be short on people, yeah. Yeah, I was checking out some of the people streaming the Iron Man stuff late last night. One was a Norwegian lady, I think. She was drinking wine and having a good time. Don't get Brahms and start a Barney me old China. It's like watching a Snatch or Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels. If I do, I'll get thrown out down the apples and pears. Yeah. Oh, my alarm's going off. Hang on. You'd be an alright 2 and 8 if you do. Yeah. I don't know what the origin of rhyming slang is, but yeah. Where did it originate? Zinzig! Hi, hello! Hello, Zinzig, and welcome to the stream. How the devil are you, sir? I has the wrong t-shirt on once again. I'm saving that one. It's special. So, yeah. This one I've had for years, and it was like... I think I got it from HMV, or somewhere like that. Oh, is no creepy spider for you again. Got a tattoo on it, if anyone wants it. Enjoying the peace and quiet at your new place. Is it? Have you settled in? Pearly kings and queens in the East End, yeah. I lived in London for 6 years, so you know, and living in somewhere like Stepney, you heard a lot of it. When I moved out a bit further, like Leytonstone, it was quite Irish in Leytonstone, actually. There was a lot of Irish families and stuff. It was a bit less. You heard it a lot less. More or less still moving stuff and so on, but beginning to look like a home now. Yeah. I remember that, moving into flats and trying to make them feel homely. It's not until, like, you've broken something or stained one of the walls before you sort of feel like it's yours, isn't it? It's weird. Yeah, curious minds wish to know. Let's have a look. Where did Cockney rhyming slang and all spelt wrong come from? Cockney rhyming slang. I know what it is in the East End of London. When? First used in the early 19th century in the East End of London, hence is an alternative name, Cockney rhyming slang. Nothing to do with America. Why do Cockneys call 25 quid a pony? Monkey 500, pony 25. Oh, rupee banknotes, yeah. The old images you used to get on your banknotes, that's why. 200 years older than I thought. Oh, yeah. It's old. Proper old school. Spending way too much money making it look fancy. like my little room here. I could have not bothered with a camera and never spent all that money on all these tiles and stuff, but it does look... When I come in, I feel like I'm at work or something. You know, it feels quite pro. Pony's also something else, not a horse. Yeah. Zoop AO. Alright, bruv. Got a pony for me, bruv? Yeah, something like that, yeah. Stick a pony in me pocket. I'll get me suitcase from the van. Yeah. It was to do with the images on banknotes. Yes, indeed. So, yeah, they don't... you need some investigator like Stephen Fry, you know, to find out exactly who, when, why, what, and even then it's probably not completely known where it all came from and everything else. Yeah, well, when I was in Stepney, you got quite a bit of it. Much less so, like I say, out in Leytonstone where I ended up living. Mind you, Leytonstone was really nice when I lived there, because it was very sort of big Irish families and stuff like that. Mid-19th century with crooks planning stuff without the Rozzers understanding them. Yeah, exactamundo. I'm pretty sure that has a lot to do with it, yeah. Could have started in prisons, you know, so the guards didn't know what you were planning. Things like that, you know. Jam sandwiches. There's loads of them. They just turned up in a jam sandwich. Because the old police car markings were just like a red stripe down the middle of a white car. So it looked like a jam sandwich edgeways on. But yeah, the most authentic kind of Cockney stuff you hear is probably in Snatch and Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels. More so, I would say, than EastEnders. Which I haven't really watched for 30 years anyway, but yeah. I mean, the accents in that are like, what? Wait a minute. You need a bit more practice, son. I could be convincing enough to be ignored. Do you know what I mean? I could go in a pub anywhere and just go, all right, mate, yeah, pint of lager, please. And, like, no one would bat an eyelid. Like, where are you from, then? Because, yeah, it's just camouflage, really. I could do the same in Liverpool as well. But I worked in Liverpool, didn't live there. Used to do... Do you remember the computer fairs at the end of the 90s, early 2000s? You know, you'd go there and buy stuff dirt cheap compared to, you know, PC World and local shops. Before the big rise of, you know, internet retailers and stuff. That was where you went to get cheap PC components, motherboard, CPU, RAM, graphics cards, and, you know. That was a thing. There's still one every Sunday in Stratford. Is there? And diddly on that. Is it pretty decent? Yeah. They used to be massively better. All we did, the firm I worked for, we just sold cables. We ended up importing cables. We were selling so many. It was nuts. And it's not that hard to do. You can go to a bank and say, look, I want to import a bunch of, like, cables from China or wherever. How would I go about it? And they'll set you up with a broker, who obviously they take a cut and all that. But so you can get a container from China. It takes about 3 months at the quickest, and about 6 months normally. And you get this container full of cables, and they will drop it outside your door if you want. Anywhere, delivered to absolutely anywhere. It's actually not that expensive to do. We went 3 ways with a few other guys that did different computer fairs and got this bunch of cables in. So we were getting like decent, reasonable quality networking and, you know, the Cat5 stuff and USB cables, some audio stuff, you know, a good mix of what sold best. And we got all that container and, like, you know, a standard 1.8 meters, so like a 6 foot cable. we were buying them at 25p or whatever and then selling them, you know, for £3. It's good game. Good game. But yeah, those were the margins you were working on. And yet, you know, the same way bigger companies that were getting better prices like Currys and Comet and Dixon's were selling their cables in pretty packaging for like £15, you know, to an unsuspecting market. Yeah, there used to be one in Manchester at a venue called Bowlers, and you could get all the pirated software, videos, DVDs. There were all people selling them on a table on the out. You know, there'd be a car with the boot open and a table. All cash sales, you know. Dodgy VHS films and pirated Amiga games at Hackney Market. Oh, Hackney. Yeah. Been there a few times. Well, we did that one night, didn't we? Found the first place I lived in Stepney. This Christian mission place. You could basically stay there for nothing, and it had heating, electric, showers, you know, everything you sort of essentials were done. It was secure as well. So it was only a room that you got, but, you know, you got it for free kind of thing. And there used to be a pub opposite, used to go in there. Happy days. I had a lot of fun. A lot of fun in London, but just living in cities in general disagrees with me. I need my scenery. I need to be able to get on top of a hill and look down on everything sometimes. Just me. Country boy at heart, maybe. VR fun for the entire family. Is this the woman holding the dog backwards? That's quite funny. You can't loot. Someone's changed the bloody loot laws for the... Can't even inspect the loot. I think that's the only thing doing any damage. We kill that while we wait. Yeah, that one. She's like scared stiff, so she's grabbing the dog for kind of security. But she thinks she's got the dog's head, but she hasn't got the dog's head. She's got the other end of the dog. She's going like this, and the whole family's in hysterics, and she's got no idea. It is really good. Nothing we want on that one either. Oh well. Right then, let's head on back. Let's have a look. What have we got here? Is it safe for work? No audio. Oof. That looks like it's stung. Oof. Oops. Yeah, the one with the dog is funny though. Yeah, it wasn't a bad jab, that. You know, the newer, like, is it the... Oh, what's the one that Steam made, the VR set? The Index? Something like that, wasn't it? One of those, you can set up a perimeter and stuff, so an object gets too close to you in the real world, you actually see it, so you don't break your fingers or something punching a shelf. Yeah, how did this happen? Yeah, exactly, yeah. Yeah, and the hospitals are not going to believe you, are they? You're going to take one look and go, oh, I. Click to join the raid. I think I'm already in. Yeah. I is already there. Well, we were playing a VR game. And she didn't realise I was there because she had the mask on. We're like, what? Oh, yeah, I fell on it. Yeah, we were talking about this. It was that guy stuck a bloody... put some ordnance up his jacksie. It got in the newspapers because it was like World War II ammunition. It was very dangerous, so they called a bomb squad to disable it or something. And you can just believe, like, all the nurses going, look, you can buy things that are hypoanergelic and everything. The bum squad. Oh my god, yeah. I can't. Thankfully, they didn't release his name because, you know, he just would never have lived it down, would he? You know. I mean, of all the, you know, live rounds shouldn't be up there. You know what I'm saying? What's the VR? It's going to be things from inside VR. VR funny dog. Dog backwards? This is it. This is it. Stop seeing the ad. It's irrelevant. I'm not buying a car.
That's horrible.
I don't own the video, but yeah, this guy. So she's in this game, and she's got the dog there. Can you get a clearer frame? That's the back of the dog, look. There's the dog's head down there. And for the whole clip. So she's like pulling the dog up for comfort. The dog's like being all passive, looking down here. I think does she actually realise in the end? Yeah. She realises she had the dog backwards. So there you go, this guy's video. Cater's clips, they probably don't own it anyway. But yeah, it's pretty funny. Yeah, it's pretty... That's on... There's a lot of them out there, you know, but I don't want to get a copyright claim or something of someone that's nicked somebody else's video and put it on YouTube and then goes around trying to own it from anybody else. Well, you wouldn't, because you've got a big... You know, you've got goggles on like that, haven't you? So you're not going to put your face toward the dog with those on. So she's just going like that and not focusing on what her hands are telling her, which is, that's not the head. It reminds me of planes, trains and automobiles. And they're lying in bed, those ain't pillows. They've been the bomb squad. They've just taken it outside and exploded it. No, I think they'd managed to remove... They didn't want to try removing it without the bomb squad investigating it first, in case it did go off. So they got it out and then diffused it or whatever. Oh my god. You know, took the firing pin out of the thing. Of all the things, though. Oh my god. he collected. The story was something like they collected World War II memorabilia and you know, disarmed rifles and stuff like that. And oh god, and then get it stuck up there. Oh dear. Yeah, I think they're saying something like, that's not the dog's head, that's not the dog's head. Before she realises what that means. If it's not the head, what have you got hold of? The penny drops. Oh, yeah. Gotta say, that person was a bombshell at that moment. Yeah, literally, yeah. Someone had to clean it before the... Well, they use gloves anyway, don't they? Yeah, anyone thinking about, you know, anything like that, you know, shop online, go to an Ann Summers, there's lots of safe things you can buy, you know, that won't require the bomb squad, and are probably more fun. Just saying. Have fun and stay safe. You know, to each their own. You're not hurting anyone, but, you know. Mr. Mano, Komodo has arrived. Well, that little island place. Not where the big scary looking lizard lives. Komodo, isn't it? Yeah. Is it actually an island? I think it is, isn't it? I remember this watching Life on Earth or something. Yeah, Indonesia. Wikipedia. Oh, it's a series of islands, right. Komodo is one of 17,500 islands that comprise the Republic of Indonesia. Oh, there you go. Siljar Russell, as I make adult toys as a hobby, you know you're safe. Things you can go up there, yeah, exactly. Barbies and Legos for adults. Don't put Barbie up there. And definitely don't put Lego up there. There's a lot of sharp edges on Lego. Don't. Don't make me moderate. You don't have to moderate me. You said it. Can you put Ken up there then? Don't put anything like that up there. Nothing that will break apart. As a general rule, nothing that will break apart. And as I used to pull the arms and legs off all my sister's dolls as a kid, just to see how they worked and things, you know. I did the same to my G.I. Joe. What do you call it? The Americans G.I. Joe, we called him Action Man. He was basically the same thing. Oh, good God. So many players playing AO. Absolutely, yeah. We're about 25 minutes before a start of a Sector 42 raid, so people are just forming up now. Action Man, yeah, by Palitoy. Hang on. That's what he was called. Hang on, oh, there you go. One quick Google. There he is, Action Man. He's changed. He used to look like that. That's the eagle eye one. And then he got a bit of a facelift apparently. But yeah, no, Action Man. I had that one, and I grew into him. Actually, I had that one. I had the blondie, that guy. I had one of them with the eagle eyes. Had a little thing on the back of his head. Yeah, that was Action Man. That's obviously the new version, but the old version looked like that. And he had better jointed arms as well. The new Action Man is like, you can see he's got very basic and ridiculous thing. That's the old Action Man was like that. But you could put him in any position you wanted. You know, so if you wanted him lying down sniping, he'd do it, you know. That's what Action Man did. And he had fuzzy felt for hair that always came off after, you know, he'd been scuba diving in a puddle or something. Or in the bath or whatever. Yeah, that was the old Action Man like that. And then he got some underpants. That's a new one. But yeah, it just used to be, you know, pink and Atrox. Yeah, that's the old style Action Man. Is he basically the same thing as G.I. Joe? G.I. Joe toy. Yeah, G.I. Joe is basically the same toy. See? It's got the same face and everything else. So G.I. Joe was the same toy, but in the UK it was just called Action Man. Let's have a G.I. Joe, Action Man, same toy. Because they do look like they came out of the same factory. Action Man is an action figure launched in Britain in 1966 by Palatoy as a licensed copy of Hasbro's American movable fighting man, G.I. Joe. So yeah, they were the same toy. One was a licensed copy of the other. There you go. Yeah, his head used to come off, but his head was like squishy plastic, whereas his arms and everything were pretty solid. I had one where his hands were like they'd grip things properly. Less friendly fire with Action Man. God, let's not go there. Maybe I should pay my account on AO and leave New World for a bit. Yeah, he did have Fuzzy Felt. Fuzzy Felt was a toy as well. I had those. Fuzzy Felt. I had Fuzzy Felt, Meccano, Legos. There was another one, but not many people had it. It was called, I'm not sure how it was spelled, but it was, I think it was Fisher. Yeah, Fisher Technique. It was like a hybrid. That's the stuff there. Yeah, this. I used to have that. It was all grey. So we called it Fisher Technique. And you built, you know, mechanical stuff. I had Lego, then Fisher Technique, then Meccano. And once I got Meccano, I was building machines out of it. No, I don't want to buy one. Oh my God. You probably only see images of the new stuff. But yeah, it was like that, and you could get hydraulics and stuff and learn how hydraulic joints work and whatnot. Yeah, I used to have that, and then we went over to like Meccano and stuff as a kid. Meccano, the meme of builders. Well, it's funnily enough, the screw holes in Meccano line up with PC components quite well. I'm not sure how you spell Meccano now I come to think of it. Meccano, yeah. But the basic sets, we used to just get things like that, you know. If you wanted a curved bit, you had to bend it, and then, you know, the paint would chip off. And Meccano, 70s, that's when I'd have been playing with it. Yeah, that's it, that's Meccano. I had that set. I built a crane out of it, a massive crane. Well, massive. Half as tall as me at the time, you know. It was like this kind of thing you've got, and you've got spring, like coil spring stuff. So you could actually build mechanical tools out of it, effectively. Yeah, these are what I remember. Ones like that. That was Meccano. It was just plates of steel with holes in it, and then you got top-up ones with all kinds of bits and pieces like that. And then the plans and all the rest of it, you kind of learned how basic mechanics worked, you know. Great toys. You know, genderless, really. I mean, you give that toy to any child and they would come away, once they'd done a few of the projects it came with, they'd come away with some, you know, fairly substantial, basic, rudimentary understanding of mechanics. You'd never find that person trying to take the wheel off a car without a jack, for instance. They'd understand that, you know, you pull a leg off and it drops down there. Oh, the science sets. I had one of them and an electronic sets as well. It was like a suitcase with all the components on it, and then 2 like little springs on each, or 3 if it was a transistor, on each component. And wiring diagrams with tinned wire. So it was like a piece of wire off something, but tinned at the end, so, you know. Electronic kit suitcase. Again, this would have been 80s maybe? I was messing around with those. I think that's it, actually. Yes, that! We didn't have LEDs then. Well, we did, but not in things like that. Yeah, it was like a little suitcase like this, made of plastic. It wasn't as nice as that. No, that's an actual electronics kit. But yeah, it was this sort of thing, you know, with numbered springs that connected up. No, not 80 suitcase. Yeah, 160 in one, like that, but mine didn't have coloured bits and stuff on it, but you could build multimeters and radio and, yeah, a little old crystal radio down there, little AM. And they all worked as well, if you did it properly. Oh, I'm not showing it. No, I'm a doofus. Hang on. Yep, there you go. Yeah, like that. And the chemistry set. I had a few of those. I think I had that one with the bottles of stuff. They were way more dangerous then. You know, you could burn your eyes out and all sorts with them. Nowadays, they don't put anything in any quantities that could cause any harm because fear of getting sued. But yeah, they used to be like, you know. What's that got to do? That's Lego. See, that's someone building Meccano there. I think everyone had that one. If they got a chemistry set, used to get that kind of thing. On Pinterest. Oh, it's going to give me like 5 million things to not click. Yeah, that was it. I had one of them. Vintage. Is it vintage? Oh, sketch. No. Naff off. I just want to open it. There you go. Flying gliders, and remember them. I remember a mate of mine having that. I never had one. Oh, we've gone down a rabbit hole here, haven't we? Shinobi. I know someone's character was called that. I remember this, Battle of the Planets. I remember that being on kids' TV. I didn't know it was that old, though. Anyway, yeah, Pinterest is trying to take me down a rabbit hole here. Let's go, leave that. Yeah, that was the kind of thing you'd get. I remember Etch-a-Sketch. Yeah, God, that's 70s, that was. Etch-a-Sketch. felt like that, I think. Yeah, there you go. I mean, that's even in Toy Story. Someone getting curved lines that good is pretty good going there. Yeah, we used to have those and try and draw things, and then you drop it and it break the glass. Oh, the gold one. Mate of mine had a gold one. We're like, oh, we've got a gold one, you know. And I remember someone I knew had one, and they dropped it, and it broke, and the silver powder paint stuff just went bloody everywhere. It was completely nuts. Everything had lead in it, yeah. Including the plumbing in your house, yeah. Showing my age, but yes, I remember these things rather well. Yeah, well, leaded. If you had gloss paint and it'd be on your radiators, things that get hot and, you know, effervesce, the chemicals that are in there had lead in them. Yeah, leaded paint. And then they took lead out of everything, and they realised how it used to be in petrol and all sorts. Thing was, if you had a car that ran on leaded petrol, if you took the head off and took out one of the pistons to redo the rings or something like that, they were so shiny they looked like chrome. It was just all that. And asbestos wasn't bad for you. Yeah, the asbestos roof tiles and stuff like that. There were tons of it everywhere. You know, you'd go to school every day and there'd be like a frayed, you know, one of these square roof tiles, you know, on these false hung ceilings, and all of those tiles were made of asbestos. We used to go to school with them every day, you know. Nuts. How did we survive? How did we survive the 70s and 80s? I have no idea. I remember seatbelts becoming the law. I remember before that, and people whinging and, oh, you it's a seatbelt, it stops you dying in a crash. If I have a crash. You know, and then all this toss talk about how they were dangerous when they absolutely weren't, and it was scientifically provable that it would far more useful than not having one, you know. Yeah, they only went round your waist at the time as well, yeah. And that's how it was going to snap your spine and all that crap. And then the 3-point harness. Yeah, that once they came in, yeah. Tell you what, I'd rather have a couple of cracked ribs than that than go through a modern windscreen and onto the road at speed. Turn into a human bullet. I don't think so. I'll take my chances with a 3-point harness, thanks. Yeah, it's crazy the the lack of health and safety. When you look at it now, and yet at the time it was completely normal, you know. Playing on a building site was just something you did. You know, climbing trees was just a completely normal thing to do. And it'd be like so-and-so fell out and clunk-click every trip. Yeah, that was it. That was the thing. If you look up, I wouldn't even show them on the stream, but if you Google 1970s, what were they called? Public information and safety films, I think. And watch them. No wonder we're like immune to horror and whatnot. 70s safety ads UK. Let's have a look. Yeah, British public information films. You watch a few of those. Play safe, yeah. And it says, oh, pylons are dangerous, you know, for the overhead 40,000 volt towers. Someone tries to grab a frisbee that's leaning on it. And yeah, they become a human torch for a split second and a big white flash, and then you see the result of them burned to a crisp. Middle of the like 2 o'clock in the afternoon or 4 o'clock in the early evening in the middle of kids programming. It would just come on. Dumb ways to die. Yeah, they were basically that, yeah. You know, don't mess about on railroad tracks, and then it would show, bang, it would show you what would happen. It didn't pull any punches, it went boom. I mean, you kind of guessed it wasn't a real person, but... The Green Cross Code Man, yeah. That was the actor that actually played Darth Vader. Was the Green Cross Man. I knew someone who got paid yearly for those pylons being over the home because they caused childhood leukemia. They might. I don't know that they do. And it's not how electricity works. People think electricity works like water flowing, like they think it works like plumbing, and that's like a Newtonian understanding of electricity, but it's not actually what happens, especially with like alternating current. So let's assume a thought experiment here for you. Let's assume I've got a battery here, DC, and I've got a light bulb here, and the positive wire goes all the way to the sun and comes back again, and the negative wire goes all the way out the same distance this side and all the way back to the other side of the light bulb. Okay, it's impossible, there isn't that much copper on Earth and yada yada, but let's say you've got that, and it's special copper and it has zero impedance, no resistance whatsoever. If I press the switch on the light, how long does it take to come on? Now, some of you are probably thinking in terms of, right, the sun is 8 light minutes, plus that side, and all that, and as quickly as if it was 2 inches. And the reason is, the electrons aren't really moving that much, but they set up a... no, it comes on instantaneously. No, it comes on like that. It comes on no slower than if the wires were, you connected the bulb directly to the battery. There's no difference, because that's not how electricity power gets there. It gets there as a wave. There's a Vatasium, whatever he's called, video on it that explains it, and a couple of Christmas lectures as well. Electricity doesn't work the way we do. The power that hits it, or, toasts your toast from that pylon going, somewhere near where you live and all the rest of it, isn't going all the way through the coil in the bulb, let's say, and all the way back to the power station. That's not what happens. The electrons don't do that, but they send a magnetic charge. It's the ampage. They say ampage is what kills you, not voltage. Voltage just carries the waveform, and it's the waveform that actually breaks down inside whatever you're doing and becomes the light bulb, becomes the toaster heating something, etc. The vacuum cleaner powering around. That's what's happening, and the waveform is instantaneous. Yeah, because the electrons aren't moving in that respect. The tube of balls, you push one in at one end, one comes out of the other at the same time. That's closer to visualizing what's going on, but it's actually two waveforms that are complete at 90 degrees of phase of each other, mathematically. So they're like that, but when they hit something that isn't the wire carrying it, does it? Like the first time they tried to do a transatlantic power cable, it didn't fail because of resistance. It failed because it was too close to the ground. And over that massive length, the electromagnetic interference of the Earth itself broke the wave, and therefore it couldn't deliver any electricity, even though the electricity was connected at either end. There's a guy who used to be a teacher and explains it far better than me. Is it potassium his channel called or something like that? Big misconception. I think this is the video. Let me just see.
This video was sponsored by
Yeah. That's him. Yeah, there you go. That's the thought experiment I've just badly repeated. So there you go. That there. But this is what actually happens and why they think at some point we'll figure out how to encode or modulate those waveforms. And when we get to that stage, we can transport matter instantaneously anywhere in the universe, which is impossible, but, you know. Yeah, it's the shielding of the cable that actually makes it, and that's why pylons are up above the ground. They're away from the Earth's own, like, moisture and anything that can disrupt the magnetic field is what disrupts the power. Not because we visualize electricity as it flowing out of a pipe, and it's not actually doing that. It's much closer to what Tron said, a ball full of tubes, push one in, one comes out. It's sort of doing that because electricity's doing this in that analogy, AC, and the reason they have AC is it's far less dangerous. Right, I think it is time to get on with the raid after all that thought experiment there. I would like permission to enter the authorization. Here you are. Let me pass him the doohickey. Doohickey pass it thinged. I have accepted your mission. Please give me access. Goodbye. So there you go. Yeah. It's an electromagnetic force that actually powers your light bulbs, your vacuum cleaners and everything else. I was kicked from team. Are we splitting? I missed that because we were talking about science and I got... Ardo land, right, okay. That's where I need to click off. And then back on, there we go. Too much science talk, Yumi Himi. He didn't get it, yeah. Which, if you think that's how electricity works, now think about how the hell does a computer processor work then? You realise what's actually going on. How the hell can it work? They're designed based on the premise of, like, a current flowing. But yeah. And welcome to the stream, Yumi Himi. No, I was trying out a new greeting, but I'm going to bin that one. It's a bit rubbish. Yumi Himi. Yes, we'll give that one up. It's not very good. Now, if you try and explain that down the pub to your mates or your friends at, a meal, they're going to look at you like you're a lunatic, that you're on something. But that is the actual science. It's electromagnetic power. I remember people getting their knickers in a twist about Wi-Fi and 4G, and I was like, you do know that all life on Earth evolved inside a massive electromagnetic field that's keeping our atmosphere from being blasted off by the solar winds into space, yes? Never mind. Xanax 1970, welcome to the stream. Okay, which one are we on? Who am I with? What's my name? What do I drink? Where do I live? I remember pointing that out to someone who was worried about it, and they went, oh yeah. We go north. Let's just redo our thing. Oh, we're doing all three tonight. Good God. Oh no, two. Why did I see three there? Going mad. Because we've got callers, we've got one list, and then we've got East, and then Addo, another one. Sorry, you're alone, Carlos. I filled the spot. Oh. Can I? Bloody hair in my mouse. It was going nuts. Yeah, anyone dies, just plonk me in that one. I'm going solo. I am solo. I am probably gonna die without a doc watching me. Oh dear. And he was running with Alliance Main today. Very good. Takes a crowd to make this work. And all I can smell coming up the stairs from the kitchen is little pigs in blankets. I don't know if you have them in the States or where you live. It's like a little sausage, only like, you know, probably about that big. Bear in mind, my hands are huge. With like a rasher of bacon wrapped around it. Call them pigs in blankets in the UK. Like, oh. So we're just polishing off the last of that. You know, the party food stuff you buy for Christmas? Yeah, that. We are North. The North remembers. Armadillo eggs is that here in southern US. If someone said armadillo legs to me, I'd expect the marsupial armadillo to have one of its actual leathery eggs. One of the weirdest creatures on earth, isn't it? The armadillo. It's a marsupial, so it's the kind of in between modern reptile, well, in between dinosaurs and mammals sort of thing. Lays little things like that. Yeah, they do, yeah. I think they may not. They may be more like, you know, like a kangaroo that gives birth to like you know, thing that big and then it suckles from then on. I can't really Google it now, but yeah, I think armadillos might actually lay eggs because some marsupials do. Do you know why koala bears are not bears? Go on, why are koala bears not bears? Am I going to regret this? Am I going to regret asking that question? Possibly. It may happen. You may not want to hear the answer. Because they don't have the qualifications. Oh. So, was that in a Christmas cracker this year? Did you have Christmas crackers and you remembered that one? And you've probably got the... you probably got that piece of cellophane or whatever it is, the fish that knows or whatever it's called. The thing is, the bad jokes in them, you know what, we used to get in the UK, and I don't know if they still do it, but you used to get like a nice lolly on a stick. So you'd buy it and off the ice cream guy or from a shop in a fridge freezer or something like that. And you take the wrapper off, and on this side it had the question like that for a joke, and it wasn't till you finished the lolly you got the punchline. I don't know if they still do that, but yeah, those were the quality of jokes you used to get on them though. They were straight out of the ones that come in Christmas crackers. Back now, both me and my glasses are clean. Did notice halfway through my shower putting shampoo and I was still wearing my glasses. Oh god. Well, as long as you don't go rusty, you'll be okay. And it's not the frames. The frames are always like hypoanagelic and all this stuff. The little tiny screws that hold the arms on are not. And even if they started off that way, once you've opened and closed the hinges a few times, it's scraped all the coating off, and the little tin iron screws just rot if they get wet. Everyone I know who wears glasses around here has that problem. Because of the salt air from the sea, etc. It just eats it away. Just a quick question, Londis, but if you spend 30 minutes going around the house trying to find your glasses, do you not need a new prescription for your glasses? Because you must think that you can't see. Homemade epoxy casted frame and no screws. Use silicone for making the bendy parts. Yay! Yay for homemade things. DIY glasses, you can't feel them. Well, the good ones then. Okay, they're out. Can't feel them. Well, best way you don't... I mean, well-fitted glasses shouldn't... You know, you shouldn't really feel them. The smallest silicon mixture I've ever done is 0.02 gram of one and 0.05... Oh my god, that's very, very small, tiny bits. Yeah, but the lenses still have to sort of be like that. You know, have to be ground professional in that, I would imagine. I thought everyone just got LASIK now. But it is kind of a scary prospect as well. So, yeah, I don't know if I'd want that. Someone zapping, you know. It's not so much the zapping with a laser, because I can trust the aim of an industrial laser, but it's the peeling back the cornea and then zapping and then stitching it back down again. And you're awake while they scrape that bit off, so it comes off in a flash. Oh my god. I would not want to be awake for it. Now, and we want Star Trek or something where they just go, there you go. Just fixed it with this thing. Like a dermal regenerator they've got on Star Trek. There you go, scar gone. Yeah, if you're making a form rather than an actual item, yeah. You got to get it dead right, yeah. Otherwise, it won't have the right properties, will it? It'll be too stiff or not stiff enough, and yada yada. And if it's meant to flex and it's too brittle, it's no good. Yeah, I understand that side of stuff. There's more that both the stuff I use for silicon is not body safe, but mixed and cured, it's body safe. Right. Yeah. We're on schedule. Yeah, we are actually. Yeah, we're not doing bad at all. No, we're not. Check NCU. Yeah, I get exactly what you mean, yeah. Also, gotta remember that there's no docking. I'm not teamed with anybody else's cool auras like Reflect and whatnot. The last boss is Space Quest with Seekers. Oh no! Going to die. Yeah, these are what he spawned on me. Like, just goodbye. Like, literally walked me out of the garden and then spawned them exactly where I was. So I just thought it was hilarious. No one would win Sector 42 then. No, probably not. Slightly overpowered. Yeah, the tank didn't fence. That's always good, yep. I seem to have snared, though. Oh, you have the Seekers then, Carl. What a surprise. Yeah, I know. He's getting sneaky now, though. He's gone, yeah, he's expecting Seekers. Ah, Alien Gate. Because if you're in range, you're dead. There's no running away. There's no, aha, my bio shield blocked it. Dead. I know an Ark is not a GM. You know, any other MMO guys where the higher up kind of do stuff. Not entirely sure, really. Bitney, welcome to the stream. I don't think there is. I think AO is kind of unique as having unpaid staff almost. I mean, the ARC program used to go a lot further. ARCs could answer petitions, you know, and do a lot of stuff to help people, but they sort of didn't want to have someone running ARC. You know, because obviously an employee had to deal directly with that team of people who weren't employees, sort of thing. So they sort of went back on it. But ARC still exists for the fun things in life. Oh, when you were greeters, yeah. You were promoted and lost all interest. You're not supposed to say if you was an ARC. Me Only Fight has followed. Thank you for the follow. Yeah, I interviewed for ARC but never joined. I was just too busy in real life, the game, and you know, I wanted to do it. I wanted to give it a try. I got as far as doing the interview and creating the character and getting on. Was it ICQ or something? IRCQ or something like that. But then the org leader left, so I kind of went, right, okay then, and you know, took over. And not long after that, I was thinking, oh well, you know, I'll get back to this, and then then my son was born. It was like, that's it. Yeah, if you don't say who the character was or whatever, I think it's all right. Tell what I saw nothing. Yeah, don't forget we do get current arcs in the chat as well, so from time to time they pop in and see what we're doing, see what I'm up to, etc. Yeah. Okay, we're waiting on the first one till they're past west is past the fence. Was it IRC, was it? Yeah, it was something like that, yeah, which is kind of like proper old school chat engine. People that are used to the convenience of Discord now. IRC was like predates all of that. But it was like all the, you know, everything was done via that, not through the game's chat engine. That's what I remember. I still have a bookmark for certain things, but it's dead. You know, it's a dead bookmark now. If I go to it, there's nothing there. Rip my fixer. She has just died for the first time. What level is your fixer? Me Only Fight. It was the same thing with WoW. I'm a GM now, and I can tell you I'm a GM, I can tell you my GM name, but we aren't allowed to play on the same server group we're assigned to. Oh, right, okay. Yeah, that makes sense, yeah. That's you know, like not putting temptation in your way kind of thing. Because I knew someone who was quite a naughty arc once. Well, quite a naughty person as well. In real life as well, a bit of a stalker. Funcom chat is close to IRC, a bit different protocol though. Some bot can connect. Yeah, this is it, yeah. There's some problem with the bot on Discord, because Andy said he'd shut them down for the AO and Conan servers or Secret World servers or something. Just Discord, not in game or anything. Yeah, I can remember when AO chat was just one window with everything in it, and then they updated it so you could have multiple windows with whatever channels you wanted in it, and people bloody protested it and said, "No, we don't want it." And everyone's, well, you can make it exactly like it was if you want, but wouldn't you rather have? Yeah. It was like, what? Wait, what? At the moment, Bbot can link to the AOC or Discord or IRC. Yeah, I guess so. They've just become more and more sophisticated, haven't they? More and more features and cross-compatibility and yada yada. Oh, excuse me. So many larvae, so little time to hit them all with my big sword. Yeah, Andy sent a tweet out about something like that or whatever. Alberto B5 has followed. Thank you for the follow. I haven't played since the new temple. Yeah, the new subway's good. That's a real challenge if you've got a... But you do need like a whole evening to do it. Mobs, like the trash mobs in there have got so much ACs. And health is like, oh god, can we just please clear through? Kind of nuts. But it's a good dungeon. There's a lot of fun mechanics in it to trip you up and get you killed. They were fun figuring that place out. We got quite far on test live and then figured out a bit more when it hit live, and yeah. I don't know who got the first Eumenides kill, but god, he was a nightmare to deal with. Still is. Even if you do everything right, you can still wipe your team. I want to try the new subway and get the new... Oh, the beam. Yeah, it's very good. It's so fast. So quick. Forget renders aren't a thing in AO. There aren't many classes that can rend armor. Trader. Yeah, Trader can rip armor down by quite a bit. Two-hand edge. Oh, that's Temple of the Three Winds, high level. The one I've got on the Keeper, this thing. Obsidian Desecrator. That's from Temple of the Three Winds. That's a lot easier to get. The sword from Virgil. We said two-hand edge. Not sure now. Virgil has, is it a two-handed sword? I think it is, isn't it? Init debuff proc, yeah, that's it. And there's loads of really nice loot in there, so... Lost Blade of Elder... Sun Yakoshi. I probably said that completely wrong. Apologies. Yeah, best two-hand edge is the Temple Desecrator, yeah. It is, it's really good. As soon as I put it on and went out killing stuff with it, it was like, oh my god, this is wonderful. You know what I mean? Yoshi. Ah, there we go. Yeah, I'm not good at pronouncing non-conventional English words. I get people's names wrong on Discord and on here. I'm okay until I have to say them out loud, and then they're just totally wrong. Abysmal Desecrator. Yeah, it'd be nice if you could, they put things in the Funcom shop that would be good. Would be things like, you can get the paint for the shoulder pads. Get that for weapons and stuff. Am I right? People would buy that. I mean, I would probably make that either white to match the Keeper armor, or make it look exactly like no, not cosmetic armor, stuff that colors existing armor. Because you get those shoulder pads, and yeah, they're cosmetic. There's no real AC value to them, but you can change the color of them with another thing. If they had the other thing that changes the color, but for existing real armor. Guild Wars 2 in EQ, you could dye your armor. Yeah, that kind of thing. That'd be really cool. I think people would go for that if they could do it to weapons and things like that. Like, imagine Keeper tier armor, but the whole thing in black instead. Like, still kind of metallic and shiny, like a bit like a stormtrooper, but black. Like the Omni armor or something like that. That'd be cool, wouldn't it? You want the look of the Tara sword, but the damage of the Obsidian Desecrator. Yeah, that kind of thing. I think anything at this stage will be cool. To get 2 new dungeons, then nothing is really just depressing. Well, yeah. But the only person working on it is, I think it's Major, and he's only doing it part-time. And it could be that he can only do it while he's physically in, a place of work, not working remotely. I don't know. But if you think how much got added, with the Temple of the Three Winds, don't forget he also, not that long ago, did Pyramid of Home. So we got all that new gear from there. Then we got Temple of the Three Winds, all the new items and gear from there, and then the subway. It's not bad, for a game that is literally, still in maintenance mode. Yeah, like 2016. Yeah, it is a while ago. Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was. I had a video out about it in... Were they both in 2020? Could have been, yeah. Run temp. On the artillery commander, please give me 3 or 4 seconds before pressing everything. Yeah, come on. You're going to at least build a tiny bit of aggro before everyone just goes... Well, that's why we kept saying, a high-level version of, Biomare, the Foreman's Dungeon. That'd be brilliant, especially with all the, boss fights at the very end of it. And put, new, different loot on it. It doesn't have to be best in slot everything, but just something a little different, Not everything from the Subway or Temple of the Three Winds is absolutely best in slot for every build. But for particular builds, it's interesting and different, So something more akin to that, I think, would be the way to go with new loot and stuff in dungeons. Maybe a couple of items that are like, nope, absolutely the best item. Just put 1 or 2 of those in, and then the rest just different. Your crack got lucky with dual envoy. Oh, yeah. Yeah, getting 2 to drop at the same time. Usually you do only get the 1. Hot lub. Cal should be the lead dev for AO. Yeah, I have the ideas. I have no clue how to program it all into the game, though. And that's what a lead dev's got to be able to do. I can come up with ideas till the end of time. That's no problem. I'm a creative, so yeah, constantly just little sparks of inspiration fizzing away somewhere in the hindbrain, and that's the easy bit. Getting it all to work and not break everything else at the same time is, that takes that takes someone far more cerebral and knowledgeable about that particular thing. I can do the ideas, but I need a quantitative, to figure it all out. Guildmate killed the boss and escorted me to get them. Panic mode. Nah, that's all right. Once you know where to hide, it's pretty easy. You just have to keep kicking yourself to remind yourself you can't blitz all the way down like you can in the little temple. Because, yeah, that's pretty easy to do with a bit of run speed. Cal would make a bard character with either two-hand blunt Gibsons or one-hand edge gems. No, two-hand edge gems. Gems are bigger. Gems a bigger guitar. A Gibson is 24.5-inch scale length, and a gem's 25.5-inch, and the body's bigger. Do we got a spawn? We got some ads at the gate. I know that. We're clearing some of these first. Yes, we are. You only fit one hand in the cut out of the gem. Yeah. But yeah, a gem is bigger than the Les Paul. Gibsons are quite small. All these rock stars, and you think they're 6'5", they're not. Gibsons are quite a small guitar. Oh, I see an artillery commander. Oh god, he's loose. Okay, we're on him. Bards can play instruments. Well, I cannot actually play, well, anything. If it's got strings and frets, I can get a tune out of it. Guitar predominantly, though. I can play slap bass and stuff like that quite convincingly. In Final Fantasy 14, Bards can play, and I got kicked from group because I started to play Baby Shark. I'd have kicked you from the group as well. Just saying. People listen to stuff that's auto-tuned to within an inch of its life and go, I love music, and I go, well, why don't you try listening to some then? It's like fingers in chalkboards to me. It's in everything, auto-tune. Oh, and it's horrible. If your ears are, refined and experienced enough to spot it, you can't not spot it. It's, ugh, and it's horrible. Your voice sounds like it's going through his instrument. Oh my god, it's disgusting. It was funny when Cher did it on one record, but now people just think that's someone actually singing. It's like, no, the more vocoding effect you hear, the worse off key they are. That's why you're trying so hard to keep them in tune. You got invited back when you played the Immigrant song. Well, and rightly so. You should just be invited just for playing that song anyway. We're doing a big raid tonight. Okay, we need some music. Come from the land of the ice and snow. Yeah. Damn straight. I used to charge into Noten Wars battles back in the day when you'd have, 120 people there, charging into almost certain death as cannon fodder. And I'd have that playing. Me only fight. It's a shame my account got perma-banned due to a billing issue. Can never get it back, or else I would play again. That's a shame. Sounds kind of severe. Funcom won't let you fix it. That's really weird. But I can't speak for them any more than anyone else can, but, Does sound odd. Didn't they have a thing in Star Wars Galaxies where I seem to remember you went to a cantina and someone would be dancing and singing to restore health or something or other? I can't, like, it's years since I did that. Play to cinema. Redeem, check posture. Yes, good plan. Slouching in the chat. First time chat from viewer. Play to cinema. I can't think of another way to pronounce that, so cinema. Was it stat bonuses? Yeah, it was like getting buffs, but you had to sit there while they did the thing. But it was its own vibe, that game. It was really like, yeah, it's definitely has its own vibe and feel. And then Sony went, let's make it more like WoW. Because WoW's popular. Monkey see, monkey do. Ooh, ooh. And ballsed it up completely. Would someone like my Pat Patroller? Now, the payments came out. My card got stolen the day the payments came out, so the payments reversed and I had to get a new card, even though it was the same bank account. It wouldn't let me repay. Did you raise a ticket number? I would say something like that might be worth asking the customer service representative. Not a GM or anything like that. Andy B on Discord, mention it to him, but it depends how much time has passed as well, I guess. Play to cinema. Howdy. Welcome. Killing the Pats because they just won't behave. You guys talking about SWG? We were, yeah, just then, yeah. We're talking about many things this evening. We usually do. Meccano, G.I. Joe, Action Man, Fisher Technique, Lego, things you shouldn't stick in your posterior, how electricity actually works. Broad range of topics. Siljar Russell redeemed Hydrate for 100. Thank you very much. Tea. Best drink there is. You could try, but you don't know. Even still, it's been so long, I wouldn't know how to play any of my 220s. Well, yeah, so you come back and you roll a brand new tune and you faff around on them for a couple of weeks, by the end of which you're amazed at how much you've actually remembered. That's my recommendation. Oh, ICC planet-wide announcement. Yestapendo has been awarded the highest honorary rank for outstanding dedication to the defence of Rubicon. No, I'm not a fan of coffee. Mrs. Carlos too is. She loves coffee. Very rarely drinks tea. And I just don't like coffee at all. I've tried really good coffee off a barista, and they've done all the bells and whistles and the finest sourced beans, and don't like it. Did take me 20 minutes to relearn my dock. Yeah, body memory is there, yeah. Even if you, like, say you played a guitar 20 years ago and you've not picked one up since, you pick it up. Within about 2 minutes, you go, oh yeah, D, A, E. You're amazed what your memory can do. It really is. It's amazing what it can do. Especially as it's something that you learned to do the first time you did it. You weren't just shown. You kind of like, you learned and you went, oh yeah, I used to bind the keys like this, and it's surprising. I mean, I went away for quite a while and only came back like for a month and then disappear again for half a year and then came back for a month at one point, but yeah. Yeah, if you've lost your prefs, you need to put things back in locations and such. thing was, even when I went away, I did. I had DVDs, you know, like with preferences on and stuff like that. So. Some of them I didn't have and just had to do from scratch. We're killing them all while everyone is disappearing from the raid. And I'm kiting. Not going well. Going to die in the raid. Yep. I've got no reflect or anything. No, you died. I should have remembered, no, you don't have reflect, you don't have a dock in the team, and yeah, you're being foolish. Me fight only. So can you explain what happened during the market crash and all the items and money came from? In what? Anarchy Online? Didn't really have a market crash that I can think of anyway. I think I'll run this tune back to Rubicar. You know, I don't really remember a market crash. Maybe I wasn't around for it. There was a lot of duping going on, I know that. It was pretty obvious, people selling, you know, items by the 1,000 that, you know, they should have one or two of, maybe. Yeah, people were duping stuff and selling it. But that's not really, that didn't cause a market crash. It caused massive inflation. But yeah. Yeah, it's huge inflation, but the thing is, it's easy to counter that because of having game time as a saleable item that you can buy for real money legitimately. So you can buy a Grace for the cost of 28 days game time or 30 days game time, whatever the hell it is. And then you can sell that item on GMI for, you know, ridiculous amounts. That was massive, yeah. There was a lot of people duping all at the same time. It was kind of ridiculous. So let's say you got a Grace to sell. Let's open up GMI. So you see the prices of things and they're billions and you think, oh my God, it's billions. So how am I going to cope with that? I'll never make that kind of money selling NCUs, whatever else. So, but if you buy something like a Grace, currently I could sell a Grace for 32 billion to one person. And then that money then gets, you know, once I get that money, then I buy stuff for other people when I need it. So the inflation kind of took care of itself almost. Yeah, and then more people in turn are buying Graces. The people keeping the game afloat are buying Graces and selling them on GMI, and it's all completely legit because that's how they're meant to work. You're meant to be able to buy them to do it. Used to have 1 billion on 3 tunes and I was considered loaded. Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Sold a Grace for 48 billion today. The problem was that so many... Yeah, get them out of the GMI. Yeah. I haven't touched anything in the GMI since it went a bit haywire over the Christmas period. It was a bit like, oh dear. It's broken now. I think Manic Fixer would like to be on the stream. There you go. You're on the stream. Right, let's have a look. Whom else is streaming Anarchy Online currently? Let's take a look. Yes, Twitch, I know that I am. You don't have to tell me that I am. Mar J's with 1 viewer. Oh no. Oh, we've got to fix that. Right, we're going to go raid another AO streamer. I think they're doing the Iron Man thing, so we'll go see. Oh no, that's the macro for the raid. That's not the right thing. Yeah, they do talk to people. They speak Norwegian and English. So there we go. We're going to go raid them. So all join in and go say hi. All aboard the Skylark and go say hi. Because they deserve a raid. They've only got one viewer at the moment. So let's make them feel a bit more like they're playing to a crowd. Okay, folks. Bye for now.